please hear me. Please hear me. May we never forget, and may we always remember that the God that's big enough to create our universe is personal enough to care about our hearts. Can you see why Psalm 8:4 says, "What are human beings that you, God, think of them? What are mere mortals that you, God, care for them?" And so here's my question for you before we go any further. Have you missed how great and awesome God is? Have you missed how great and awesome God is? God gave me this right before I even walked into this room today. Have you missed how God is infinite but also intimate? God is infinite in His greatness, but He's also intimate in His knowledge of you. Have you missed that? You're saying, "Randy, why do you keep asking me that?" Why? Because the most important question you'll ever answer is, who is God? Let me be real clear for you. How you've answered the question, who is God, it has determined your past. Everything that you can remember, everything that you have done has all come about by how you have answered the question, who is God? How you answer the question, who is God, is dominating your present. The reason why you are sitting where you are, the reason why you're living where you're living, the reason what you're doing has been because of the way you've answered the question, who is God? And I will be real clear with you. How you answer the question, who is God, will dictate your future. It will dictate your future after you walk out this door, but it will also dictate your future as to where you're going to spend eternity. You see, some of you think of God as a heavenly grandpa. He's just that guy that's always around, and maybe he was harsh on your parents, but he's easy going on you, and no matter how you act, you always get a birthday present. No matter how you act, you always get a Christmas present. He's some heavenly grandpa that just winks and laughs and thinks when you are disrespectful and rude, he just thinks that's funny. Now, some of you think of God as some strict nun, that all He does is sit around and slap your hand every time you want something, every time you try to do something, every time you desire something. He's always saying no. He's the no God. He is always saying no to you. Well, here's the truth. Please write this down. The truth is this. We don't get to decide who God is and what He is like. All the way back in Exodus 3, it says in verse 14, God said, "I am who I am." What's He saying there? He's saying, you know what? It doesn't matter what you think about God. It doesn't matter your opinion about God. It does not matter what you think about God. He alone decides who He is. He alone decides what He is like. Now, here's the problem. Most people think that it doesn't matter what you think about God as long as you're sincere. I hear that all the time. Why? We're so tolerant in our society right now. We'll let anybody believe anything. We've got people that going out there calling God a woman. We got people out there calling God all sorts of things. And by the way, it's infected the church. Here's how I know. Because some of you spend the services where I'm preaching simply sharing the Word of God. If you've got a sheet in front of you, everything I give you that's on that sheet that's yellow, that's Bible. And yet you spend this whole service arguing with me in your head. Why? Because you say things like, well, my God wouldn't do that. My God wouldn't talk like that. My God this. My God that. Let me explain something to you. There is no my God. There is the God. And you don't get to decide what He is like. You don't get to decide who He is.